sequence. I don't know where to put my cheat sheet here. Then the whole back of leg sequence. By the way, general hip pain, even though it's general, is it likely to be bilateral or one-sided?
Bilateral?
It could be either, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it depends, but I think it's going to be generally one-sided. Yeah. I mean, it's called general, so it's a little hard to tell, but yeah. Okay, so back of leg sequence. Finish all that. Then I'm just going to elect to do this way of holding and moving the leg, because I can keep this here. Get a nice whiff here. Excellent. So you know how to find the greater trochanter. It's actually, even as you move this around, you can feel it under you. So in this case, what I would do is hold a point and use my whole body to move this around. Why would I do that as opposed to holding the leg still and just pressing? I don't usually do things because they're easier. What's the difference between this, holding a point and moving, versus holding still with this and digging in? I shouldn't have said they're preferable. I would actually do both, but why would I do one versus the other?
This way is more fixed and direct, and you're actually moving the larger mass into you. So that just weight, you move it already.
Sure, yeah. It's a different way of approaching the same thing, basically. So I do want you all to make use of this, both holding this still and digging in at various points. Stay awake on me, Yulin. Digging in at various points and then holding a point and moving. This changes the planes, this changes the angles, right? Okay, then, while I still have this extremely heavy mass in my hands, this is where I want to move a little, do all that nice rolling. Okay. Anything that I can here. Okay, finally get to put that down. Then, since I'm working on this side, obviously I would do the psoas on this side, but I'm going to demonstrate over here, because you want to be able to do it from across the body. So, feeling around for the whole pelvis. Specifically, this is called the ilium, right? Specifically, ilium where you can reach up into the psoas. Psoas sort of attaches to the inner face of the ilium, so I want to dig into there, feel my fingers go in. Try to get myself in as relaxed a position as possible. This is not so easy, but it is preferable to do this for the patient as opposed to having them supine and you digging in from above. That can be invasive. So this is a little easier. I might even do this. Then I'm just going to wait. I'm not even necessarily trying to get a strong reaction here. I just want some contact. Debbie, that all right? What happens if I wait? What happens with the patient's body?
Relax.
Yeah. And if the patient's body relaxes, what's likely to happen?
It drops.
It drops, thank you. It drops, which means the pressure happens more deeply without me really trying, right? I don't want to strain myself here. So, this is a worthwhile time to address this. If I have a patient who might, for whatever reason, be kind of uncomfortable with touch around the sacrum, around the buttocks, all that sort of stuff, could I still do this step?
Maybe after asking if they're comfortable with it. If they say no, just don't do it.
Sure, okay. Would that involve maybe some explanation of why it's
Yeah, like
necessary?
I'll probably explain like why I'm doing these steps and what they would be doing
Okay.
by doing those steps.
Sure.
And if they still feel uncomfortable, then I guess I wouldn't do it.
Okay.
And actually, it's funny because that came up yesterday when I was working on a patient who was not comfortable with abdominal work. So it's just the thought of like, when do you explain? Do you explain it after you ask permission? I mean, not working on it, but like, I'm finding that if I explain, like, oh, hey, so there's a section that's abdominal work or glute work or psoas work, and this is the reasons why, but if you're not comfortable, please let me know. Versus like, oh, are you comfortable with abdominal work?
Sure. What do you guys think about that?
That's good.
Yeah, that really works for me. That's great. So I kind of had that confused, but thank you for clarifying. It is explanation first, I would think, and then seeing if they're comfortable. If the patient is asleep or something, or I don't know, it's not sort of a time to explain something, what's another way I could do this that wouldn't be so having me across their whole body like this?
Same side work.
Same side work. You could do that. So, and for some of you, this might even be preferable because you can actually get yourself in horse stance. You can then buttress your hands on the table and they can actually go up further. So experiment with that, with this particular thing when you try it. Try it same side and opposite side. See what works for you. Okay. Then we have front of leg sequence. So can you flip over on your side, face away from me? What did I do wrong?
You made him face away from. Oh, hold on one second.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
And why is that a bad thing?
Because you were working on the other leg.
Exactly. Thank you. Sorry, can you go back on your stomach and then face towards me? I turned my mistake into a teachable moment. How about that? Here, patient, why don't you hold this for me? Nothing like a cheat sheet. So, David asked earlier, not David, but David asked earlier, how many times do we do this dredging? What's the general answer?
3.
3. Why 3?
It's a good number.
Sure, it's a good number, right? Yes, it means a lot in Chinese. Culture, great. What? How can we keep it from being the same thing each 3 times? Change French. That's simple. Can you on your back, please? I literally have gotten mixed up at this point. If I were a surgeon, I would have to be the one that marks the body part to be worked on. So what side am I working on now? Yeah, exactly. So hopefully you all don't have quite the spatial dyslexia that I seem to. Okay, whole front of leg sequence. And we'll finish this up. So really steps 7 and 8 are kind of as one. You're both bending and extending the knee as you rotate the hip. It's this simple. But especially with a big guy like this, you've got to get yourself in a stance where you're not crunched over. Okay? Oh yeah, sure. Thank you. So crushing your inguinal groove.
The seams are only so strong.
This is true. Oh, good point. Okay, so whatever version you're comfortable with this, and then we have done this step before, which is I like to put the thumbs on the bottom. Traction is simply pulling towards me a little bit. What am I thinking about as I'm doing this? Besides lunge.
Grounding.
Minimal movement.
Anything with intention?
It leaves his head. The energy leaves his head, or goes through his head.
It's actually more the hip I'm concerned. If we were doing a head protocol, I suppose. I'm trying to make sure the hip is affected by this. Yeah, it's just that basically. Okay. Okay, any questions with this?